with Graham Greer here in Cornwall, Ontario. Graham's getting ready for liftoff. Graham, you must be excited.
Yes, it's going to be a great show.
It's Cornwall's big event of the year.
Yes.
And I hear you're unveiling some new tunes.
Yeah, we've been working on, we have about 6 recorded. And trying to decide whether to do a full album or just do an EP this time around. So.
Now, is this going to be Graham Greer solo, or because I know you guys are tinkering with coming back with the Barstool Prophets?
Barstool Prophets' 20th anniversary is in the spring of 2012.
Mm-hmm.
So if the world doesn't end, we might see a little get together. We'll see.
How many albums worldwide do you think are going to have a 2012 theme to them?
Quite a few. What did it say? Rise Against have one about the world ending and about the nirvana that will arise afterwards.
Yeah. So what's going on with Graham Greer in the summer? I know you're in Ottawa for once a month, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff.
I'm doing the last Friday of each month, July, August, and September, at Greenfields in Bardhaven, with different openers. I've got a singer-songwriter opening and like a Bluebird-style opening with 4 singer-songwriters in August.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple of different surprises going on, trying to mix it up and make everybody accessible to more than just their own fans.
So other than hearing these tastes at liftoff and stuff of the new material, when are your fans going to be able to get a hold of the new material?
Well, I think we're going to release digitally first. Mm-hmm. That seems to be the way to go these days.
It is the way to go.
Yeah.
Digital's cool. My new novel's coming out digitally. The newspaper's digital. Awesome. So music's been digital pioneers.
Yeah, iTunes has been great.
Yeah.
It was great for me on this past record. So I'm going to try that first and see what happens. But like I said, I think as far as a hard copy goes, I think I'm going to go with an EP. I'm kind of leaning that way, 6 or 7 songs, and just because it's more financially viable these days too.
Now, you've been active. I'm using the word political, but politically in the arts and cultural scene here in Cornwall, Ontario. Yes. You participated in the culture document, Culturescape document that came out.
Yeah, and we tried to get the word out as much as we could. I mean, people keep asking me if I'm in a group, and I'm not really in a group. There's a bunch of us who are just concerned citizens who don't really want to see this opportunity go by, you know.
And people don't realize how much culture exists in this community and this region. And of course, culture is not just music and performing or painting. That it's such a wide array of.
Oh yeah.
I mean, advertising is a form of culture, and
exactly.
Gardening, and I mean, it's huge.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's people don't realize that this area has so much compared to other areas. I mean, we've got with the French and the English all mixing together as far as and with the native
well, and the Celtic background too.
Celtic is huge.
Yeah,
French. There's a French Celtic amalgam too that people don't really take into consideration around here too. So it's so multifaceted, and that's mainly I'm thinking from a music perspective always. But like you said, from visual arts to dance to everything, there's a big melting pot here. So.
Now, whenever you get artists together, there's always one completely, everyone's on their own planet and egos and everything else, and It's insanity. But the Culturescape project sort of centralized in the fact that we need an arts center in this region, if not in Cornwall itself.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
I think a focal point for all of the facets of the cultural landscape that I think we've already covered. I think focal point is very important. And I know there's going to be, with the release of this report, I know there's going to be tons of debate about where this place should be. You know, people from Maxville think it should be in Maxville. People from Cornwall think it should be in Cornwall. And because the report was all the counties working on it together, paying for it to a certain degree, I think that's going to open up a can of worms as far as everybody vying for the right to have this focal point built in their area. So.
Now, you've been one of the success stories regionally between the Barstool Prophets and your own solo work. You've received renown outside of the region. You're a commercially successful artist. What are some of the hurdles that you've had to overcome from here, and what are some of the challenges that you face locally and other artists face locally?
Well, I think one of the challenges locally is having places to play, having places to feature from a musical perspective. I'm not speaking for the other arts, of course, but it's difficult to find good quality places that are accessible for people to in order to showcase your music. There's only so much you can do in a bar.
Yeah.
And for a while, we had the place down at the cotton mills, the weave shed, and I played there a few times, and it was great. You know, pack that place, and it still feels intimate. And I hear that place is gone now. So,
do you think people support local bands enough in this area, or is it an issue that they don't hear about the event until after the event's passed?
Throughout our history, the Barstool Prophets history, we always joked that Cornwall was a last-minute town.
Okay.
You know, if you put on a big show, people wait till the last minute to find out if everybody's going, and then they go and buy their tickets all at hour 11.
Right.
And I think that seems to be a prevalent way to do things here, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it has to do with getting the word out, or if it just has to do with people not sure about what they want to do and waiting to see what all their friends want to do first. There's some kind of psychology at play. That seems to be a tough thing to get around for some reason here. And whenever we play in other cities, you know, you'd have places that the tickets would have sold out a long time, far ahead of the date. So,
how much of a role does marketing play for artists today? I mean, people learn how to play guitar, they learn how to sing, they learn how to put their sets together. But a lot of artists, you don't see them understanding how to market themselves and promote themselves. They don't feel comfortable with that.
Right. Well, I mean, there's so many different ways to market yourself these days that we're backtracking now.
We're backtracking.
We've run out of sidewalk.
We've run out of sidewalk. Cornwall is ending. We don't want to end up in Ingleside this morning.
There's so many different ways to market yourself these days, and I think a lot of the younger bands are focusing solely on the internet. They think the internet is the only way to go. When postering and getting the word out via word of mouth is still one of the most viable,
for
especially
local.
in a small community. That's one of the most viable ways to get the word out about a show. So it's having a healthy balance of the new and the old. I think that's most successful, or at least from my perspective.
So have you been going to any shows this year? Did you check out U2 in Montreal? I've been going to a ton of different events, so I'm seeing a lot of
tickets for U2, and I couldn't go because I was out east at the time. I think it was the Toronto show. I can't remember now, but, I haven't checked out a lot of shows. I'm trying to think of the last show I went to. It was maybe Springsteen a few years ago. But yeah, I just don't. I'm too busy doing my own thing.
What do you think about the big trend this year of 70s acts hitting Montreal? We've got Peter Frampton playing Montreal, Casey and the Sunshine Band. You've got Paul McCartney, who's a 60s act coming back.
Yeah.
Well, 70 if you count Wings.
Well, even at Blues Fest, one of my guitar player, Todd Huckabone, he said that the best act he's seen at Blues Fest was Huey Lewis. Because they knew how to put on a show in front of that kind of crowd, and they knew how to work the crowd. And
is that a lost art, like knowing how to play your own instruments and perform?
I think it can be. I mean, it's easy to see the artists who are talented in that regard. But I remember seeing Huey Lewis when I was in high school, like years and years ago, and even then he could.
You're admitting to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're admitting to seeing Huey Lewis, like, because this is going on the net. So
listen, they were a rockin' soul band, right? They were a white man soul band.
Okay.
From my perspective. And what my friend Todd pointed out to me is that the only difference they had was they had a huge marketing machine behind them.
Yeah.
And they got in some movies, and they got in, like Back to the Future and such. But
do you think there should be more pressure on local radio and local media to support local bands and to give them a shot? There was recently a comment that we printed, I won't say by who, I don't want to embarrass them. Well, I sort of do, but I don't want to get sued. Where they were saying, we don't make the hits, we just play the hits. And to me, the birth of radio and the whole magic of radio was making hits.
Yeah. Getting into radio situations here in town, from my perspective, I've always had a really hard time getting played here in Cornwall. So I think my opinion's going to be tainted.
Well, yeah, but it's valid because you actually have been. I mean, it's different when it's a rookie band saying something like that, but someone that's achieved commercial and artistic success to the level that you have through the Prophets and through solo.
Yeah.
It's like, wouldn't it be kind of cool to turn your local radio station on in the car while you're driving the kids to school and hear yourself? And then they can go, "Dad's cool. Look at that." And then.
Well, I mean, I know in '89 or '90, whenever we put out our first music to the radio stations, we got played in Ottawa, and we were doing interviews in Ottawa at Shea 106 and 54 Rock at the time.
Wasn't Shea amazing back in
Shea were
the
great, and that's
day?
how we cut our teeth, and we learned how to do interviews on Shea. We learned how to play live on the air on Shea.
Do you remember the Buzz commercials?
We did Share Shea every year too, and Kath Thompson was there then, and she kind of shepherded us through the processes that we used later on in our radio interviews all across the country. So
I've been listening to Shome lately. I don't know if it's just because I became single again and I have my old Pink Floyd posters on the wall, but Pete Marier is doing the morning show there. I was like young, and Pete Marier was doing radio.
Terry DeMonte's coming back.
I know. It's like we're all getting senile at the same time, and culture is providing us with the tools to enjoy it.
Maybe that's viable. I don't know.
Yeah. How do you deal? I know we're going way off topic here, and we're almost back to where we started.
Okay.
How do you deal with the different trends in music? How do you evolve as an artist? Like, you know, I just saw a clip of Bob Seger because he's on tour now. Bob Seger is on tour.
Yeah.
And I'm watching him do night moves, and it's like the voice is different, the hair it's there, but it's short and gray, and he's got that old man rasp to him a little bit, and it's like I don't know if I feel happy or sad, and
well, I mean,
like
I think you just have to. I just keep doing what I'm doing and hope that people like it. I mean, I'm sure that's the same with.
But do you evolve? Like, how do you evolve? Like, what's changed now between your new music and stuff from 20 years ago?
Wow. Well, it's less hard edged. I mean, I've softened.
You've softened, mellower. Age has diluted you.
Yes, it's not diluted. Just mellowed.
Mellowed. Okay. Well, thank you.
Remember that Pursuit of Happiness song?
Yes.
I'm an adult now.
Are you an adult now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I like
so
to play
sad.
I just don't like the racket.
Okay. Okay, so what night are you on at Liftoff?
I'm on Friday night at 6:45.
And the website is?
GrahamGreer.com.
And
find me on Facebook too.
And you know, for $15 for a night, you get to see not only Graham, you get to see these like washed up old bands that still have some charm and appeal to us old folks.
Collective Soul were a huge radio band. Come on.
Who?
Collective Soul.
Who?
Come on.
Oh, come on. I don't even think I download their music for free. No, they were a great band. They had some great hits. I'm teasing. I'm just jesting.
You can't tout, how art and then crush some band like that. You can't do that.
I could, but that's the beauty of art. I get crushed all the time. I get criticized, and it fuels me. Doesn't it fuel you when someone says, "Graham, you suck"?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. So it's going to be a great concert. The weather looks great. And, if you're in Ottawa or Montreal, you can't see this much talent for that smaller price.
That's right.
And next year the prices will probably be up, so you better get down and check out Graham's act.
Thanks, Jamie.
Website.
GrahamGreer.com.
All right. Be good.